זה היה המוקים. 3 חודשים.
Hey there.
Hello.
I'm not sure if you've tried to open the doc yet, but everybody seems to have lost access to it. So
Yeah, I sent a request for access. If you can give it to me.
nobody knows who owns it. So
I see.
we made a new one. I'll throw it in the chat here.
Are you talking
Cool.
about the meeting
Thanks.
notes?
I am, yes. Nobody knows who owns them. I think it might be Mayor Kale, who used to be the JavaScript maintainer. He works for Google and he's on vacation right now, so nobody can reach him. I'm not entirely sure how it became private, but
Who owns the calendar invite?
the calendar is shared. So I just modified the calendar like 2 minutes ago. So if you clicked on it from the calendar, you maybe got the wrong one and maybe got the right one. Depends when you clicked.
Should we share the link on the community channel?
Yeah, I did, but I think everybody that
Okay.
joins after I sent it can't see it. So I'll just send it every couple of minutes here. All right, we are 5 minutes in now. I just posted the doc in the chat one last time for anyone that doesn't have it yet. For anyone who has not heard, we lost access to the previous doc. We're working on gaining access back, but we're probably just going to move to a new document anyway so that we know who the owner is and things like that. And with that, we will get on to the meeting. Let me share my screen. Is there anybody on the call right now that cannot access the new doc or doesn't have the link or is confused or anything? Seems like no. All right. So let me make this a little bigger and we will get started. Sort of a short agenda today because we just spent the last 10 minutes recreating this document and didn't have a lot of time to make an agenda. So might be a short meeting, but we'll see how it goes. The first thing I wanted to cover is from the specification meeting and our spec review from Carlos. Carlos brought up the suppress instrumentation context key that we have. Currently, we export from our API a method to suppress instrumentation, and this is not a specified method. For those that aren't familiar, we use this as a mechanism to prevent infinite loops. When you have an exporter, for instance, using HTTP to send spans to a backend, but HTTP is instrumented, then those requests may be traced and you end up with the tracer tracing or the exporter exporting its own spans and going into an infinite loop. There are various solutions to this that have been proposed. The easiest is to just add it to the specification. That's the easiest for us, is if they like our solution, then that's fine. One other option is to move it into the SDK. So to move that method to core or something like that. Anything is that if we move it into the SDK, it's then considered an SDK internal. It would not be available for instrumentations to use or for customers, but that might be okay. As far as I know, we don't have any instrumentations currently using it, so we may not need to worry about that.
Actually, I use it in many instrumentations.
You do?
I use
What are
it,
you using it for?
for example, in AWS SDK. So I'm instrumenting the AWS SDK call, and the underlying protocol is HTTP, and I don't want to connect it. So I turn it on, so I only get the AWS SDK part.
Can you do me a favor and comment that on the spec PR that you're trying to use this feature?
Okay, sure.
Just the PR and the specification is having some resistance. Particularly, there's one person that doesn't like it, and just to have customers asking for it is helpful.
And we use it also in Elasticsearch and Mongoose. We do the same trick to remove the underlying protocol, which we don't care about.
Yeah.
So I'll comment there.
Totally. Okay. Thanks.
Daniel, did anybody from the Python SIG speak up? We have something pretty similar that's used in basically all of our instrumentations.
Yeah, nobody did on the spec PR. We talked about it in the spec meeting for like 40 minutes. And I thought everybody was in agreement, but then when I made the spec PR, it got blocked by blocked by Yuri, who is like a TC member. He's not just like some random person that will be overridden. So, hopefully we'll be able to get this through. I only opened it yesterday, so we're still pretty early in the process, but we're trying to get 1.0 out, and until this question's resolved, we're not going to be able to release 1.0. So I'm just trying to fast track it if possible.
Okay, I'll bring it up with the Python SIG tomorrow as well, because we could definitely also comment on that issue since we've already had our 1.0 and we have this we have this in our batch span processor and the simple span processor, which are released.
So do you have it though as part of the SDK or as part of the API?
Part of the SDK.
Yeah, so that's okay, I guess. That
Okay.
was essentially what I was told by the spec people, is that if it's an SDK internal, that's okay. The issue that they have with us is that we have it as part of the API. And we could move it to the SDK, which would solve our problems, but then Amir would be stuck without it, or we would have to. He'd probably have to just import it from core or from some extensions package or something like that. We could find some way to expose it for people, but ideally, I think it makes sense to be in the API.
When you say it's in the API, you mean like where do you set the context key if it's not in the span processor?
So we set it in the span processor, but the method used to set it is in the API.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think we just have like a constant for the string key, and then the instrumentations use the same constant. So in that sense, there's no like public API besides the constant.
Yeah, so it's just a string key in Python.
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, ours is a little different because there's symbols, which are like unique keys that they work a little differently.
Okay, I mean either way, I think we could push against maybe the hesitance for this feature because we know it's really useful and we have it in most of our code. So
yeah, and I mean we can always move it into the SDK, like I said, and then create like an extensions package that people like Amir could use, but that's just more work, and I don't want to if I don't have to. And I don't want to make everybody using it like Amir have to change all their code either, because that would be a pain.
yeah.
That's all I really had to say about this, though. We do have, since last week, we have a handful of bugs that have been opened. And some of them are assigned and being worked on and some are not. So I'd just like to go through these, and whichever ones are not being worked on, I want to make sure that somebody is handling them. This one was just opened recently. I think it's fairly straightforward, but nobody's working on it yet. Would anybody like to volunteer for this one? Yeah, I'll take it myself if nobody wants to. Let's see, parent-based sampler should not drop invalid span context. This one, it looks like already merged. Oh, great, okay, perfect. Span's not registering with the collector. I'm not familiar with this one yet. I haven't seen it. Has anybody looked into this yet or noticed that this was here? I took the last one, so I'm going to assign this one to Bart.
You can assign to me. Yeah.
Yeah, familiar with the collector. There you go. And then gRPC, undefined path attribute. Valentine, you mind if I assign this one to you?
No, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that these bugs are assigned. I saw, Valentine, that you opened this issue, but I haven't really looked at it. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was the conversation that we had the last week about the fact that we have like multiple SDK and that we should try to find a naming for them that is more clear for new users. So that's pretty much it. I made a proposition and someone made a counter offer. So pretty much, if some people can look at it and discuss about how we should name all the different SDK and stuff like this.
Okay, so and then this is new packages, right? This is not renaming packages. This is just taking the current SDK package that we have and making more options from it, right?
That is actually both. I mean, some are renaming, for example, the node tracing package, which is the one that we have, which is called Node. And some are new, like the Browser SDK all or Node all, which contain, like as we said before, we need to be able to bundle some exporters or some components to be compliant with the specs, so user can choose like which exporters they want from the environment. And to do so, we need to be able to install them. So yeah, it's kind of both.
Okay. I think looking at Rauno's comment here, I think I agree with him in terms of the naming order. But yeah, in general, I think I support this. This was essentially what we talked about last week, and I thought it was a good idea then, and I still think so now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I guess we could probably talk about this async, but I just put it on the agenda so people are aware it's here. And then we also have the spec review issues for the API and the SDK. Most of these have been, or they've all been assigned, and most of them already have PRs. So they're all already being worked on, but I just wanted to make sure that these are being reviewed in a timely manner so that we can get these in, because these are currently blocking the 1.0 release. So this is essentially all we have left before 1.0 is these API issues and these SDK issues. None of them are particularly big, and like I said, most of them already have PRs. So getting them reviewed and merged in a timely manner will definitely help with the release. I see a chat from Nev. Could we create an API extension package that's published with the API? That way, yeah. So that was one of the things that we talked about, was creating an API extensions package. That's essentially the workaround that we will use if we can't get the specification merged, is to create another API package, an extension package that's essentially for things that are not specified. And the idea there is that if the specification then does decide to tackle this in the future, it doesn't conflict with anything in the core API package. And that wouldn't have to be revved to 2.0 or anything like that. That's what the workaround will be if we don't get this specified. So
But what is this really about?
it's the chat that Nev said.
Yeah, but I mean, what exactly are we talking about? What is it going to be, like extra functionality or what?
No, so this would be essentially, it would be like OpenTelemetry /API-ext for extensions or something like that. And we would put the suppress instrumentation call in that package instead of the main API. It seems like maybe Nev doesn't have a microphone right now or something. There was one more message too. Yeah, we want instrumentation to only depend on the API. So Valentin, I think depending on the API and also an API extensions package would probably be okay. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world either. We just don't want it to have to depend on the full SDK.
Yeah, I see.
So like I said, short agenda today. I'm sorry for the lack of preparation, everybody. We kind of got caught a little bit by this document issue. Is there anything that anybody would like to bring up? Seems like no. I updated the calendar, so this document is the official document now, so we'll use this one in the future. Even if I get access to the old one, I'll just copy over all the previous meetings to it. So for future meetings, we should use this document, just so you guys are aware. And thank you for your time, and I will talk to you all next week.
Thank you. See you.
Well, thank you.
Bye.